He collapsed after a nap. The hidden danger lurking in your Salt Shaker Senior Health Story. Asterisk. Most people think of salt as just a taste booster. A little sprinkle here, a little dash there. But for seniors, especially those above 65, it can quietly become a deadly trigger. This is not just about blood pressure. This is the true story of Walter, a retired school teacher from Boston who followed every health tip. Except one. A simple one. What he thought was harmless turned into an emergency. All after a peaceful afternoon nap. Walter's calm life. Walter was 74. A kind man. .Com. In his nature, loved gardening and crossword puzzles. His blood pressure had always been borderline, but he felt in control. Every morning, he would have a slice of multigrain toast, a boiled egg, a cup of coffee, and a small sprinkle of salt on everything he ate. For taste, he said, even fruits like melon. Yes, a tiny pinch of salt. He'd done it since his 40s, small symptoms. Big clue. Asterisk over the last month, Walter began to feel tired. Even after 8 hours of sleep, slight swelling in his feet and ankles, occasional pressure in the chest after meals and a heavy head after his afternoon nap. He didn't pay much attention. After all, aging comes with some discomfort, right? But one afternoon, after a usual lunch and a short nap, Walter stood up, and the world around him spun. The collapse, asterisk, as he tried to reach the kitchen. His legs gave out. He fell against the chair, clutching his chest. He couldn't breathe. His speech slurred out. His wife Martha called 911. The paramedics rushed him to hospital. Diagnosis, hypertensive. Crisis with fluid buildup caused by years of hidden sodium intake. Asterisk. The salt that sneaks in. Asterisk. Here's what shocked even Walter's doctor. Walter didn't eat fast food. He didn't snack often. He cooked at home. But his food habits included store-bought, bread-canned, soup, low-fat, cheese, pickles, and yes, that daily pinch of table saltol. These together added up to over 3,200 milligrams of sodium a day. Way beyond the 1,500 milligrams recommended for seniors. And the worst part, the extra salt pulled water into his bloodstream, raised his blood pressure silently over time, and stressed his heart. A dangerous combination. Walter was already taking a mild blood pressure pill, but too much salt neutralized its effect. He didn't know that blood pressure medicine doesn't work well when your salt intake is high. It's like pouring water into a bucket with a hole, and every nap his heart would slow down, and the pressure buildup would overwhelm it. Doctors said if he hadn't come in today, the next attack could have been fatal.
If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your supports helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you.
Learning the lesson. Asterisk Walter spent 4 days in the hospital. During that time, he met a dietitian and a heart nurse. He learned that salt is hidden in everyday items. Ketchup, sauces, bread, cereal, even low-fat options, a senior's kidneys. Don't process sodium as efficiently, and afternoon naps can sometimes unmask cardiac issues if blood pressure is uncontrolled. He switched to a low-sodium diet, increased potassium-rich foods like bananas and spinach, and began tracking his BP weekly. What you must watch for if you're over 60 and often feel fatigue after naps, puffy ankles or fingers, headaches in the morning, or chest pressure without reason. You may be silently suffering from sodium overload. Start by reading food labels. Aim for under 1,500 milligrams sodium per day. Avoiding table salt, use herbs and spices instead. Choosing fresh over packaged foods. Getting your BP checked every week. Not just during doctor visits. Remember, you don't need to feel sick to be at risk. Asterisk wisdom to live. By asterisk, Walter now walks 30 minutes a day. He grows his own herbs. And his salt shaker, it sits at the back of a cupboard untouched. He says, "I never feared salt, but now I respect it. In old age, it's not about giving up taste. It's about choosing life, one smart habit at a time dot. So the next time you reach for that shaker, pause. Taste your food. Taste your life. Because living longer requires living wiser. Asterisk. As a brain doctor, I'm surprised. This common fruit increases stroke risk overnight. A story for senior wisdom. Asterisk. Have you ever heard someone say, "It's just fruit. It can't harm you"? Well, as a brain doctor, let me tell you a story that might make you look twice at what's on your plate, especially after 6'5". This is not a scare tactic. This is wisdom. A story, a wake-up call for anyone over 60 who still believes that healthy means safe. Because what if the very thing you thought was good for your brain was silently increasing your stroke risk overnight? This is the story of Harold, a 72-year-old gentleman from Manchester, a proud retired engineer, a chess enthusiast, and a man who believed he had his health all figured out. But one morning changed everything. Asterisk. Harold's golden routine. Asterisk. Harold lived alone. His wife had passed 4 years ago, and his children visited once a week. Every morning, Harold woke up at 6 a.m., brewed his tea, and opened the paper. He followed a strict heart-healthy diet. No processed meats, no white bread. Every morning, he'd chop up half a grapefruit, sprinkle it with a pinch of Himalayan salt, and call it nature's blood cleanser. He read somewhere online that grapefruit helped lower cholesterol and supported the brain. So he ate it every morning without fail. What Harold didn't know was this. Grapefruit interacts with over 85 medications, especially blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood thinner drugs, all of which he took.
If you are still watching this video and finding these valuable insights, please comment number 5 below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed, yet I remanded you subscribed and turn on the bell so you miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you.
The warning signs. Asterisk. 3 weeks before the incident, Harold started noticing unusual things. He would forget names mid-conversation. His balance wavered while getting off the sofa. And most strangely, he began waking up with dull headaches, something he hadn't experienced in decades. His daughter, Eliza, suggested seeing a doctor, but Harold insisted it was just old age. A week before the incident, he felt a sudden rush of dizziness after breakfast. He sat down, sipped water, and waited for it to pass. That breakfast, grapefruit, toast, and his morning pills. The stroke. It was a quiet Wednesday morning. 7:10 a.m. Harold was standing in the kitchen pouring tea when he suddenly dropped the kettle. His right hand stopped moving. His speech slurred. He collapsed, hitting the floor with a thud. He was lucky. Eliza was stopping by early that day. She found him 20 minutes later, called emergency services, and he was rushed to hospital. The diagnosis, mild ischemic stroke, caused by a sudden spike in blood pressure and reduced efficacy of his blood thinner medication. The doctors asked, "Has he been consuming grapefruit?" Eliza nodded. The science behind the surprise. Grapefruit, while rich in nutrients, contains compounds that block a key enzyme in the small intestine, CYP3A4. This enzyme is responsible for breaking down many medications, including statins, calcium channel blockers, and anticoagulants. When blocked, these drugs build up to dangerous levels in the bloodstream. Blood pressure can spike or plummet. Clot prevention meds can lose effectiveness. Stroke risk rises dramatically overnight. For seniors on multiple medications, like Harold Grapefruit, can be a silent trigger. It doesn't harm everyone, but for those on certain prescriptions, it can be deadly. Recovery and reflection. Asterisk. Harold spent 3 weeks in rehab. He regained most of his speech and movement, but his confidence took a hit. He began attending stroke recovery support groups, where he met dozens of others, many just like him. Some triggered by stress, some by diet, some, shockingly, by innocent habits they never questioned. One lady had her stroke after mixing green tea and bait, another after taking over the counter, supplements on top of her prescription meds. Harold realized something powerful. It's not the big things that catch us off guard. It's the little things we think are safe. Harold's message to other seniors. Asterisk after his recovery. Harold recorded a short video at his support center. He said something that has now been shared by thousands. As seniors, we focus so much on exercise and vitamins, but forget the simplest truth. Your medications and your food, they must talk to each other. Because if they clash, your body pays the price. He now advises every senior he meets. Review your medications with a pharmacist every 6 months. Keep a list of fruits and supplements that can interfere with your meds. And most importantly, never assume natural means safe. What you should do now, if you or someone you love is over 60 and takes any prescription medications, do the following. Make a list of all meds you take, including herbal supplements. Check with your doctor or pharmacist before adding any new fruit or remedy to your diet. Watch out for interactions with grapefruit, pomegranate, green, tea, licorice, St. John's wort. Avoid self-diagnosing based on online trends. Your health is a delicate balance. Just because something worked at 40 doesn't mean it will at 70. Asterisk. Wisdom for the journey. Asterisk Harold still eats fruit, just not grapefruit. He still drinks tea, but checks what meds go with it. And every morning he reads something new about brain health, longevity, and quiet wisdom. He says, age didn't betray me. I betrayed it by not respecting the rules of this phase of life. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Because sometimes the smallest choices carry the loudest consequences. So the next time you slice a fruit, pause, ask questions, stay wise, and remember, you're not just living longer, you're living smarter.
If you are still watching this video and finding these valuable insights, please comment number 5 below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed, yet I remanded you subscribed and turn on the bell so you miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you.